Let me ask you something real quick. You ever been in a situation where you genuinely know that a girl is into you? She laughs at everything you say, she texts first sometimes, she finds reasons to be near you, and yet somehow, a few weeks later, she's just gone. Not dramatically, not with a fight. She just slowly stops showing up. The energy cools, the texts get shorter, and one day you wake up and you're thinking, what happened? What did I miss? And here's the thing that kills you. You didn't do anything wrong. You were nice, you were attentive, you showed up, you tried. And that, right there, that word, that's the whole problem. You tried. And trying, when it comes from the wrong place, when it comes from fear instead of strength, creates a very specific feeling in a woman's chest. Not warmth, not excitement, not that I need to see him again energy. It creates comfort without tension, familiarity without mystery. And familiarity without mystery is the death of attraction. Every single time. Now, I'm not here to tell you that women are complicated. They're not. They're actually incredibly consistent once you understand what they're responding to. And what they're responding to has nothing to do with your height, your bank account, your jawline, or how many followers you have. I know dudes with all of those things who can't keep a woman's attention for more than 2 weeks. And I know regular, average-looking guys with nothing flashy about them who women genuinely cannot stop thinking about. And the difference, the only difference, is always internal. It's always about the energy they carry, the habits they've built, the way they move through the world. So today, we're going to break down 9 specific things. 9 behaviors, 9 internal shifts, 9 quiet habits that make women emotionally addicted to you. And I'm not talking about that surface level, she texted me back type of attraction. I'm talking about the deep kind, the kind where she's thinking about you at 2 a.m. when she should be asleep, the kind where you leave a room and she feels it, the kind where months later, after you've both moved on, she still brings you up to her friends. That kind of addiction, the kind that sticks. And here's what I need you to understand before we get into the list. Emotional addiction in the context of attraction isn't manipulation. It's not tricks. It's not games. It's what naturally happens when a woman is around a man who is genuinely, authentically at peace with himself. A man who has built something real inside of himself that doesn't crumble when she pulls back, that doesn't shrink when she tests him, that doesn't perform when she's watching. That kind of man is rare, and rare things are addictive. That's just human psychology. So, let's get into it. 9 things that make women emotionally addicted to you. Pay attention, because some of these are going to feel counterintuitive. Some of them are going to go completely against what you've been told to do. But if you stay with me through all 9, by the end of this video, the way you show up around women is going to look completely different. And more importantly, the way they feel when they're around you is going to change. Let's go. Number 1, you make her feel something she can't immediately explain. Here's a question for you. When you walk out of a conversation with a girl, what do you think she remembers? What she thought or what she felt? This is the most important thing you will ever understand about attraction. And once you get it, everything else clicks. Women don't replay the conversation in their head. They replay the feeling. She doesn't go home thinking, wow, he made such great points about his career. She goes home thinking, why did I feel so calm around him? Why did talking to him feel so different from other guys? Why do I feel like I want to hear his voice again? She can't explain it, and that inability to explain it is exactly what pulls her back. Now, what creates that feeling? What makes one guy's presence register in a woman's nervous system at a completely different frequency than everyone else she talks to? Honestly, it comes down to one thing. You are the only person in the conversation who isn't trying to get something from her. Think about that. Every single guy who talks to an attractive girl, and yes, I'm going to be real with you here, most of them want something. They want her approval, they want her number, they want her to like them, they don't want to feel rejected. They're carrying this invisible weight into every interaction, this quiet desperation, and women feel it. They feel it in the way you rush to fill silence. They feel it in the way your voice goes up slightly when you're trying to be funny. They feel it in the way your eyes check her reaction after every single sentence, making sure she's still with you, still impressed, still interested. And here's the brutal truth. When she feels that energy of a man who needs the interaction to go a certain way, she doesn't feel attraction. She feels pressure. And pressure is exhausting. She's already getting that from the other 9 guys in her DMs. She doesn't need more of it from you. But you, the version of you we're building in this video, you walk into a conversation with nothing to prove, no outcome in mind, no invisible scorecard running in the background. You're just there, fully present, genuinely curious about her as a person, not performing, not calculating, not checking her reactions. You're just in the room. And that energy, that rare, calm, I don't need this to go anywhere energy, creates a feeling in her that she literally cannot find words for. And things she can't explain, she comes back to again and again and again, because her brain won't let her file it away neatly. And that's the hook. So the first shift you need to make is this. Stop entering conversations with an agenda. Start entering them with genuine curiosity. Stop thinking about what you need to say next. Start actually listening to what she's saying right now. When you listen, really listen, not just waiting for your turn, she feels seen. And feeling seen by a man who doesn't need anything from you is one of the most intoxicating experiences a person can have. Practically, what does this look like? It means you stop rehearsing in your head. It means when she says something, your response comes from what she actually said, not from the script you were already running. It means your follow-up questions go deeper into what she shared, not sideways into a new topic. It means your energy stays steady whether the conversation is going brilliantly or just okay, because you're not measuring success by whether she seems impressed. You're measuring it by whether the conversation feels real. When you do this, something will happen that surprises you. She will open up more than she intended to. She'll laugh more freely, she'll stay in the conversation longer than she planned, and when she walks away, she will feel something she hasn't felt in a long time. The feeling of someone actually being interested in her. Not her looks, not her attention, not her validation. Actually interested in her as a person. That feeling is unforgettable, and it starts with you having no agenda. Number 2, you're the same person whether she's watching or not. Let me tell you something about women that most guys never figure out. They have an absolutely insane radar for inauthenticity. It's almost supernatural. You can be with a girl and she cannot tell you your favorite color off the top of her head, but she can tell you the exact moment 3 weeks ago when your energy shifted and felt slightly off. That's how tuned in they are. And the thing that triggers that radar faster than anything else is when you're one version of yourself with your boys and a completely different version around her. I see this pattern constantly. A guy is funny, loud, confident, himself, genuinely himself around his friends. He has opinions, he jokes, he takes up space, he pushes back on things he disagrees with. He's comfortable. And then the second a girl enters the picture, this guy transforms. He becomes quieter, he agrees with everything, he becomes careful, he monitors every word before it comes out. He laughs at things that aren't funny because she laughed. He suddenly has no opinions on things he had strong opinions on 5 minutes ago. He becomes a slightly blurry, slightly smaller, carefully managed version of himself. And she sees it. She sees it immediately. She might not articulate it. She might not say, "Hey, I noticed you changed when I walked in," but she feels it. And what signals to her is this: this man doesn't trust himself enough to just be himself around me. And a man who doesn't trust himself is not a man she can feel safe with, not emotionally, not romantically, not in any lasting way. Now, here's the thing about authenticity that nobody tells you. Being authentic isn't always comfortable. Being your real self sometimes means she might not love everything about you. She might disagree with an opinion. She might not laugh at something you said. She might raise an eyebrow. And for a lot of guys, that risk, the risk of not being perfect in her eyes, is enough for them to retreat into performing mode. But here's the thing they don't realize. The moments she disagrees with you and you hold your ground with a smile, the moments she doesn't laugh and you're unbothered, the moments she tests your personality and finds the same guy underneath, those are the moments she decides you're different. Those are the moments the attraction goes from surface level to something she actually feels in her chest. Consistency is magnetic because it's rare. Most men present a highlight reel. They show their best angles, hide their weird ones, manage their quirks, and curate themselves for consumption. And after a while, being around that kind of person feels like watching a commercial. You know it's not real. You know there's something beneath the presentation, but because they won't show it to you, you never get to actually connect with them. But you, when you're the same, whether she's watching or not, she gets to actually know you. And knowing someone, really knowing someone, is where genuine emotional attachment is. Number 5, you don't panic when she pulls back. This is the big one. This is probably the single most important point in this entire video, because this is the moment where most men lose everything they built. And it's not a dramatic moment. It doesn't look like a fight or a confrontation. It looks like a text that takes a little longer to arrive, a response that's a little shorter than usual, a vibe that's slightly cooler than last week. And the moment most guys feel that, something happens inside them. A quiet panic, and they act on that panic without realizing what they're doing. He texts more, he checks in again, he asks if everything's okay, he sends the, "Hey, you seem off" message. He tries to fix something that might not even be broken, and with every message sent from that place of anxiety, the thing he was afraid of gets more real. Because now she's not just slightly pulling back, now she's looking at a stream of messages from a guy who clearly couldn't handle her having a normal, busy, not about him day. And that is unattractive in a way that is very difficult to recover from. Here's what you need to understand about the female emotional cycle. Women do not maintain the same energy towards someone every single day. It fluctuates, it shifts, it's not a flat line. Some days she's warm and open and all in. Other days she's in her own head. Other days her energy is just inward. And the reason, the actual reason, 9 times out of 10, has absolutely nothing to do with you. She's tired. She's stressed about something at work. She had a difficult conversation with her mom. She's processing something in her head. She's just in a quiet phase. And a man who understands that, a man who can let her have her quiet phase without making it about him, is a man she feels completely safe with. Because safety in this context doesn't mean you're predictable or boring. It means she knows that her emotional fluctuations don't destabilize you, that she can have a bad day or a quiet day or an independent day, and you won't spiral. You won't punish her for it. You won't make her manage your feelings on top of her own. A man who stays steady when she pulls back is communicating something very powerful without saying a word. He's communicating, "I trust you. I trust myself. I trust this. I don't need constant reassurance that everything is fine. I'm not sitting by my phone waiting for your energy to tell me who I am today. I have my own ground, and you're welcome on it whenever you're ready." That kind of steadiness, that emotional anchoring, is what women mean when they say they want a man who makes them feel safe. They don't mean a man who is physically imposing. They mean a man whose emotional stability creates a space she can return to without fear. A man whose mood isn't contingent on her mood. A man who is genuinely, solidly fine with himself, with the world, with her, regardless of whether she's showing up at maximum warmth today. So the next time she pulls back, what do? You do what you were doing before. You go to the gym, you work on your goals, you call your friends, you live your life. You don't chase the warmth. You give her the space to return to it when she's ready. And she will, because a man who doesn't chase is a man who has to be returned to. And the act of her returning, of her choosing to come back to your energy, builds the attachment far more than any amount of following up ever could. And here's what's beautiful about this. When she does come back, when she texts again or shows up with her warmth again, you don't make a big deal about it. You don't say, "Finally." You don't do the passive-aggressive, "Oh, you're alive." You just receive it. Like, of course she came back. Where else would she go? That kind of quiet confidence is so rare and so magnetic that once a woman experiences it, she compares every other man to it. Number 6, you have standards and she knows it. Let me tell you what makes a man instantly more attractive in a way that almost nobody talks about. He doesn't want everyone. He doesn't accept everything. He has things that matter to him. He has things he won't compromise on. He has a version of life that he's building toward, and he doesn't rearrange it for just anyone. Now, there's a version of this that sounds arrogant, that sounds like the guy who's constantly reminding people how selective he is as a performance. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something much quieter, much more internal. The man who genuinely has standards doesn't announce them, he simply acts on them, consistently, without apology, without explanation. And that consistency communicates something to every woman who encounters it. This man values himself, and a man who values himself is a man worth pursuing. Here's the psychology of this. When you accept everything, when you say yes to every plan, when you overlook behavior you don't actually like, when you bend your schedule and your energy and your needs to accommodate whatever she puts on the table, you inadvertently communicate that your time, your attention, your presence doesn't have much value, because valuable things are not universally accessible. Valuable things have conditions, have requirements, have a gate at the front. And here's what happens when you have no gate. She gets in easily, and things we get easily, we value lightly. It's not her fault, it's just human psychology. We're wired to assign value partly based on the effort required to obtain something. When something requires nothing of us, we unconsciously assume it must not be worth much. This is why the guy who agrees with everything, always available, never pushes back, accepts any treatment, this guy, despite all his efforts, ends up being taken for granted. Not because he's not a good person, but because his behavior tells a story about his value that isn't serving him. Now flip it. The man with standards. When he gives you his time, you know it means something. When he shows up for you, you know it's a choice, not a default. When he's warm towards you, you know you've earned that warmth. And that makes every moment of his warmth infinitely more valuable than the constant warmth of someone who gives it to everyone equally. This doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean being difficult. It doesn't mean manufacturing drama to seem hard to get. It means you have things you genuinely care about, and you hold them. If she cancels last minute repeatedly, you notice it and address it calmly, instead of brushing it off because you're afraid she'll be annoyed if you say something. If she shows up with an energy that's disrespectful or dismissive, you name it simply and move on. Not with aggression, just with clarity. If a plan doesn't work for you, you say so, instead of reshaping your entire week because you're afraid of losing her interest. And the interesting paradox here, the thing that takes most guys a while to wrap their heads around, is that setting these standards, holding this boundary, saying the occasional no, actually increases her interest, not despite the friction, because of it. Because it tells her that she is with a man who respects herself, and a man who respects herself will respect her too. And a man who respects her is a man she can actually trust. And trust, more than any other ingredient, is what converts attraction into deep, lasting emotional connection. Number 7, you make her feel the best version of herself around you. All right. Pay attention. This one is underrated, massively underrated. And when you understand it, it changes the entire game. Here is a truth about human beings that most people never consciously examine. We become deeply attached to people who make us feel good about ourselves. Not in a flattery way, not in a "you're so beautiful and smart" compliment every 5 minutes way, but in the specific,